we want to know that the food we take in is food that will support the body and not feed the germs. So what's a food that supports the body and what's a food that will feed the germs? Guess what? It's different for different people. And now there are some basic things, and that's what I'll be talking about for everyone, to understand that when we eat a lot of foods from the processed area of the store that's in a box and will last a long time. There was a old country store that was closed a long time, and they went into it and found a Twinkie package, and the cellophane around the Twinkie was starting to go and deteriorate, but the Twinkie was still soft and kind of pliable because of the wonderful preservatives, so that it will always look good. So the deal is we need to actually, for the vitality of our body, eat the food that will go bad.
Hi, I'm Sherrie from Knowing Through Growing, and this is Carl from Knowing Through Growing, and we are interviewing Linda Westman today, who is a chiropractor, holistic healer, and among other things, Linda is an expert on healing with food and kinesiology, among other things.
I want to share with you that this weekend in Florida, I was assisting with a seminar in helping people release grief. And there I met a grandmother whose grandchild has an ear infection and they want to put tubes in. And just 6 months ago, I heard about somebody's grandchild had tubes, and they were going to take them out because there was an infection. So what we eat has a lot, and what we think has a lot to do with whether or not our bodies can grow infections, can support organisms that are not for our health. So I really appreciate that you chose this topic of eating for health. Is there any specific thing you'd like to know?
Yeah, so how does let's see here, so how does eating certain foods help us heal from certain ailments? Let's say somebody has I don't know, cancer or something like that. How can they help heal themselves with their food choices?
I like this question. How can we heal ourselves through or support our body in healing itself through feeding it food that the body considers the raw materials for the cellular function and for maintenance, keeping things going, and for building muscle, and for all of our senses to work, our hearing, our vision, and the cleansing, the liver. How can we support the liver in cleaning out, transforming toxins, and the kidneys and clearing out toxins, that which we don't need? The colon gets rid of what we don't need. That is the first step. So a foundational item for the food, we want to know that the food we take in is food that will support the body and not feed the germs. So what's a food that supports the body and what's a food that will feed the germs? Guess what? It's different for different people. And now there are some basic things, and that's what I'll be talking about for everyone, to understand that when we eat a lot of foods from the processed area of the store that's in a box and will last a long time. There was a old country store that was closed a long time, and they went into it and found a Twinkie package, and the cellophane around the Twinkie was starting to go and deteriorate, but the Twinkie was still soft and kind of pliable because of the wonderful preservatives, so that it will always look good. So the deal is we need to actually, for the vitality of our body, eat the food that will go bad if we don't eat it. It's alive, but we eat it when it's alive, and it brings to our body that vitality of the enzymes and the nutrients. So the fresh food that we can wash. Now that's a problem. We're getting fresh food, we put it in the fridge, but our lives are too busy. How can we possibly have the food to eat when we have to wash it and cut it and steam it or boil it, make a soup out of it? So steaming is the best way. So you asked for the guidelines. The guidelines are eat the vegetables and fresh things as fresh as possible, and to make that easy, clean them all ahead of time and put them into packages that are ready to go. So they're fast food packages. You can have a package with greens and then maybe add berries for a smoothie in the morning. So a little pre-planning, spending time relaxing, for me, cutting vegetables and washing things is actually like a meditation.
It sounds similar to a lot of things that I've been doing with the Knowing Through Growing thing. Is I've been one of my next videos is going to be on. It's almost like you're trying to become a fast food thing you're making. And I'm doing the same thing with my tortillas, and my burritos. So I'll show you that. I'll show you that in my next video. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm excited that you brought that up too, because I can combine what you're talking about with what I've got, and that even adds more nutrients to the diet that we're talking about here.
I love that you're going to put out a tickler and say, well, comment. So when you come home and you want something quick, how do you get your tortilla? How is it?
Well, actually, this is your interview. So
no,
I don't. Your interview. Just because I brought up,
you can answer the question.
We still have to stay on the goal. So
I don't want the whole deal. I just want to know, what does it look like? Will the people listening want to eat it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got one video already on the tortillas, but I'm going to show how I make the whole enchilada, baby.
Okay, so
yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Well, that's good.
It's going to be the next video, so I'm going to make you wait for it, like the old Heinz commercials. You remember the anticipation?
Right.
Bottle?
Right. So what?
I'm excited. I was going to ask you about detoxing next. As far as detoxing goes, what are your tips on detoxing? How can we detox from eating all these processed foods and other toxins that have been in the environment?
Well, a real basic, simple one is to add silica into our bodies. It's good at binding toxins, like from Roundup that's in our water. Therefore, glyphosate can be gathered up from our body by doing BioStill, the liquid kind. You put like 5 to 6 drops in water, and then 30 minutes after that, take some capsules of charcoal. So the BioStill, the silica binds to the chemicals, and the charcoal will carry it out of our body. And doing that every day is very helpful. And do you want more things?
So the Roundup, is that found in, if you don't mind me asking, the Roundup, is that found in like the just regular vegetables that we get at the store? Or is it just like picked up from the yard? Or is it just all a combination of all those things?
Yeah, it is a combination of all those things. It's in the water table because it's been sprayed on the ground. And there are like beets, they put GMO so that when they spray the whole field of beets, this is non-organic, of course. Organic beets wouldn't have this in them. But in a large commercial field, the beets are adjusted with genetically modified beets, have some glyphosate or some reaction, so that when the whole field is sprayed to kill weeds, the beets still grow. And those
You're talking about sugar beets, or
yes, sugar beets, right? Exactly. That's the big point, that these beets are providing our sugar. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah,
Wow.
that's how. Yeah, if we just don't eat beets, we get it in the refined sugar.
Unless you put it in a good organic garden in your backyard, right?
Right.
Yes.
Growing our own food is
Yeah,
like
we like to talk about problems here, but we mostly like to talk about solutions.
I am so for
That is
that.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so glad you got us back on track.
That's right.
Say
Well, no, hey, we have to talk about the problem to
a
know
little
it's a
bit,
problem.
not much.
People got to realize it's a problem before they can come up with a solution for it, right?
Yeah, before you
right. If you just tell somebody they should detox, they're going to ask why. Why should I detox? Why?
yeah.
What's the problem? You know?
Uh-huh.
Because you're full of stuff they've been feeding you.
Oh,
Yeah. Even without the Roundup, there's still plenty of things.
preservatives and pesticides, herbicides, beyond.
Yeah, everything. And also just that if we're eating constantly and we're never giving our colon a break, the colon needs to have a break at some point and be cleaned out.
That's a really nice way to help the body detox, is to do the intermittent fasting, eating maybe at 6:30 at night and then not eating again until almost noon, around 11. That gives the colon a rest. Thank you. That is so helpful.
Awesome.
The colon meridian goes along the shoulder, and see there. I have a little, like a birthmark kind of thing, and I realize that's because I need to do more of that intermittent fasting and give my colon a break.
Yeah. We just have a few minutes here left. So is there anything else you would like to talk about, Linda? Any message you want to get out to the audience?
Well, I do want to encourage them to do a little bit of planning and research and become aware. Start checking into your body's reaction to what you're eating, because your own body will let you know when a food is reducing your energy or if it supports it. And I have personally experienced that when I started eating a food that's good for my blood type, I appreciated knowing what things support my blood type and what things are less supportive. Other people don't feel that so much. I think other blood types may not think of it as much. It may not be as much of a factor. So the bottom line is for people to listen to their bodies. And the more we clean out our bodies and do this fasting type of thing, where you start eating all vegetables and then you go into more juicing the vegetable, and then don't eat for a day and then start eating like smoothies with your spinach and the berries, and then start eating steamed vegetables and then go back to the meat. By doing a routine like that, we become more sensitive.
It's amazing that you say that, because when I started doing the smoothie thing about 6 years ago, and I started to realize it when I drank it, after I was done drinking it, I would feel better. I would feel, you can actually feel it. And that's when I started really taking and I started eating food that made me feel good. Not so much for the taste is what which it tasted, but it wasn't so much for the taste as it was how it made me feel. And just recently I had a chicken dinner with asparagus, and I hadn't ate too much meat, but I did have a chicken. I had chicken good. But I noticed about three hours later, I was really hungry. And then when I'm making just bean burritos with rice and a few shiitake mushrooms in there and a couple of lettuce, that stuff lasts for like 10 hours. I mean, that's just like such a more, and it feels better. It's a more steady energy. But I just wanted to throw that in.
Oh, that's good. An example of what I was sharing. Thank you. Perfect.
Okay.
So,
Well, thanks, Linda, and thanks, Carl. I'm gonna let you guys go here, and it was a great call. We'll have another one later.
sounds good.
Sounds good.